Viewers will recall that the Green Book, in fact, this Green Book that has been a lot of headache to our opponents on the other side. In fact, some of them have not read the book. They claim they've not read it. They say they are not going to read it. And yet, if they want to argue, they have no basis upon which to even criticize. Page 18 of the Green Book, that is the overview of the Better Ghana agenda. Under tertiary education, it reads, the bills for the establishment of the University of Health and Allied Sciences in the Volta region and the University of Energy and Natural Resources in the Brong-Ahafo region were passed in 2011. That is by the August House Parliament. Work is almost complete on the structures of the temporary campus of both universities. And let me repeat again, work is almost complete on the structures for the temporary campus of both universities. The two governing councils of the universities have been inaugurated and admission is scheduled to commence with the new academic year in September 2012. That has been boldly captured in the overview of the Better Ghana agenda. Indeed, on the 7th of February 2012, His Excellency President John Evans Atta Mills inaugurated both councils for the University of Allied Health Sciences and that of the Energy and Natural Resources in the Volta region and the Brong-Ahafo region. Yeah, Kwame, can you give us the names of the members of both councils so we can begin the discussion?
Yes. Actually, as you said, the councils have been inaugurated, and these are made up of people who are accomplished members of our society in academia, in private life, in business. For the whole campus, we have Professor Kofi Anyudeho as the chairman, Justice Agnes Dozie, I think he's a justice of a court, Dr. Soji from the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Yaodu Jemfi, an accomplished pharmacist, Togbe Teprehodo, I think he's an accomplished lawyer. We have Professor Ernest Aite, also in the medical field.
Yeah, I think Professor Aite, he's currently the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And then for Brong-Ahafo, we have Professor Abba Andam, Professor Emeritus Elizabeth Adefio Shandoff.
Okay. Yeah, he's a very renowned professor in geography and natural resources.
Mr. Paul Efa, Sajifo Osiadioya Ajimang Bedu. We have Oko Frobo, Dr. Yao Ejei, the second, and then Professor William Ellis. Okay. I think these people are not mere people. I don't think they would accept their jobs if they thought this was just a child's play. It's because they believe that this was a just cause for the building of our society. And if you check the backgrounds of those people, some of those people have been the leaders of those people who actually championed the creation of some of the most wonderful things we have both in research and in entrepreneurship and in academia. Okay. So it is quite wrong for people to think that somebody out there is about to take people for granted. This is a serious business. If you think of it this way, there's no society that can develop or redeem itself from the quagmire of poverty without the provision or the production of the requisite knowledge. Some people think, why do we have to get maybe just 10% of our oil and other things simply because somebody else is coming to do this for us? Imagine we have all these sort of people in our country. What it means is that we can maximize the benefits of what God has endowed this country. So it is not just a campaign promise. It is a need for this country to produce high level of people that can address the needs of our people in both healthcare and environment and science and technology.
So why should people out there, especially our opponents from the MPP, why should they be thinking that the initiative by the president and then the promise that 2 public universities are going to be established, why should they think that that is a mirage?
Well, don't forget this, the NPP, by their tradition, UP, has never actually managed to establish a university under their regime, if you think of it, right from the days of, they just pay lip service to these things. The best they've done is to cosmetically juggle things around by changing GSS to SHS and all these things. But the real job, because the truth is, it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of resources to actually start a new public university. So obviously, they shy away from it because they don't want to get into a position of cracking their head to find solutions, find people, find the money to do these things. Maybe when NDC is brave enough to take on these things because we believe that it is right and it is necessary, and it's necessary now, I can only think maybe it's out of jealousy or out of maybe ignorance that this is not politics. This is real.
This is serious business.
Yeah, this is
national
serious
development.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you don't want to, you don't want to develop. That is where you would mess around with education, and not only education, high-level education. If you go to the UK, one of the things that, even if you listen to Obama, or if you listen to how do you call it, David Cameron, one of the things the West want to capitalize on now, because China is catching up on them in everything, is to up their game in research, in science and technology. We can't wait for that to happen to us. We need to take our destiny into our own hands, and that the only way to do that is to ensure that these institutions become institutions of higher learning, and that is the only way forward as far as we think it should be.
So those arguments that it's a waste of resources to establish 2 new universities, whilst we should spend money to expand structures, basically that has been the focus, that has been the crux of the argument. Those arguments should be dismissed on face value. Completely.
Look, why would anybody think that? Look at the doctor-patient ratio in Ghana. Alarming. Yeah. If you were to distribute all the doctors around the country and say everybody should go and visit one doctor, you end up a doctor probably would have to visit, to see maybe 50, 100 people in a day. I mean, the guy or the lady is going to be exhausted. We need to train more of these people. We set up a national health insurance. We need the doctors to be there, the nurses to man the facilities.
And we, even under the Better Ghana agenda, in terms of health delivery, we have mentioned a whole lot of projects that have been done, especially in building of new facilities. We are talking about 5 new polytechnics in the northern region that has been completed. We are talking about additional 5 polytechnics in Lambusi and other places in the Upper West region that will also be completed very soon. 100-bed malaria facility at Teshi, at Dental Community Hospital. These are new hospitals that are going to be established. And most definitely, we need the doctors, we need the nurses, we need the specialists to man these facilities.
Exactly.
And how do we train these people?
Yeah, well, I mean, unless you don't think jointly, something they join up thinking. You don't think of getting a car without thinking of how do I service it. You're thinking of improving the health care of people. You're thinking of NHI. You're not thinking of importing doctors, importing drugs forever. We need to train these people. That's the only way forward. But I think, I mean, it got to a point where you can basically, when some of our opponents speak, you can say it's just out of politics because there are very little basis as to these things. I think the NPP particularly should be suggesting some other ways that government can speed up the establishment of these universities instead of attacking the whole idea. I think they should be bringing our ideas as to where we'll find money. I mean, at forums that, I mean, people are bringing up new ideas because it is an idea that the people of Ghana have accepted. They read it in the NDC manifesto and voted for the government. So the people of Ghana are expecting that these universities would be built. It's not something that they thought that they just put it there for nothing.
When you follow the arguments and then the politics of the NPP as regards, or our opposition parties as regards the establishment of these 2 universities, it has been about criticisms over the period. Personally, I have not heard anything cogent that the opposition had contributed to the process. Instead of cutting it down, slamming it down to say that no, this shouldn't be done. You heard Ambrose Derry. He said it clearly that, I mean, it's unnecessary. Going to establish university in the Volta region and the Brong Afro region is totally unnecessary and it's a waste of state resources. And that is the mentality that they had towards this project. So do you think with this kind of mentality, they'll be ready to contribute anything meaningful to the success and the development of these 2 public institutions?
These people have opposed almost everything that has become the fabric of development of Ghana.
Even the name Ghana itself.
Exactly. Look, when they, for instance, assuming that the so-called free SHS was even achievable, where do they go from there? Do they just need to go to school for free?
Yeah, maybe they train them and then they leave them
you know,
in the sky.
you go to the university campuses. There's congestion at the places. You see little, I mean, at little time, then you see doctors going on strike, and then you go to the hospital, you talk to doctors. They are stressed. Sometimes they are stressed because they are not. We don't train just enough of them. We don't train enough nurses. We need to get to do all those things. I mean, the university in Brong-Ahafo region is going to come up with some innovative courses that address the needs of this country, not just training people with degrees that are not relevant to this society. And if you speak to some of the people who are going to be running these institutions, you can see that they are so hungry to bring up ideas, innovations of the way new things are done in this world, and they have no time, and we shouldn't have any time for those people who just stand on the fence and criticize for criticizing's sake. In any case, just check their history. What have they done for education in this country? And you can see that it's just, I mean, cosmetic things they've done. Okay,
my cherished viewers, we'll go for our first break. The discussion is on two new public universities, that the University of Allied Health Sciences at Ho in the Volta region, and that of the Natural Resources in Brong-Ahafo, Sunyani. Yeah. The discussion has been on what we've been doing so far. And then viewers, we'll be seeing some pictures and some photographs of the latest developments on both sides of the university in Brong-Ahafo and then in the Volta region. As the picture slide, our resource persons will help us to understand exactly what those structures are, when the structures, what the facilities are, what they'll be used for and all that. So we get a clear understanding and pictorial representation of everything that is being discussed here, so that you have clearly in your minds that what is being discussed here is serious business and things that are real, things that are concrete, things that are on the ground. That's what we are propagating under the Better Ghana agenda. But Peter, even before the slides begin to roll, how will you assess the level of commitment, the level of work, the progress, and then the efforts that have been put into the development of these two universities per the promise of the NDC administration so far?
Felix, if I may assess how committed we are as a government to the establishment of the two universities, I would say it's overwhelming.
Okay.
It's overwhelming because...
Okay, yeah. Viewers, you can see some of the pictures on the screen. So, yeah, Peter, you can continue with your submission.
So, these are the supposed apata that our colleagues are saying we have built.
I can tell you that is the part of the residence of the Vice Chancellor.
Okay, that is the residence of the Vice Chancellor.
Which is ready now.
Is it in Brong-Ahafo or is it in
Brong-Ahafo?
Okay.
Yeah, that's ready. And that's part of the courtyard between the main building and the
Vice Chancellor's
residence. Okay. That's, I think, the main.
That's the hall.
The lounge. Okay. The lounge, looking from there. Yeah, that's some of the rooms.
Okay.
That's that's another view of the bungalow.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's the gatehouse. I mean, you need a proper security. A new gatehouse has been built. I think that's in interior of the gatehouse.
Okay.
I think those are some of the. So it's the Vice Chancellor's residence is ready. I think she's eager to move to. That project is still ongoing. I think that is where one of the residences for the key staff.
Okay.
Don't forget, yeah.
Senior staff.
I think that tape is for the Vice Chancellor's residence at home.
Okay, this is part of the Volta University.
Yes.
The Vice Chancellor's residence.
Yes, almost ready as well. And Professor Binka is already in Ho, trying to put things in court. Yes,
which one is this?
Yeah, that's part of the residence. Both residences for the Vice Chancellor and the Pro Vice Chancellor look similar. They are within the same compound. With all divided. Yeah, that's the Pro Vice Chancellor's residence. That's a shot from within the common area before you enter the building. So all these things are almost completed, ready. Yes, those are.
Yeah, but for the records, the argument has been that these are not buildings that has been built under the NDC administration. But for me, I don't think those arguments are tenable. How do you say about that?
Well, I'll tell you this. For instance, in Volta region, the incubator facilities are being built just adjacent to the existing Trafalgar Hospital, as they call it.
I think we'll see those pictures.
That one was also built by the government of the previous NDC government. Why don't the NPP tell people that, well, after all, it's built by NDC, so don't use it? Because strategically, the whole government hospital is going to become a teaching hospital, as Professor Binka explained yesterday. Yeah. So it makes sense that the incubator facility should be closer to that facility. We shouldn't be shy of saying that, after all, we are building this country from stage to stage. If there are some existing facilities already belonging to the people of Ghana, why can't we use it? You understand? I don't see anything wrong with it.
Peter, is that an issue at all?
I think it is very ridiculous for anybody to say that, oh, you are building a new university, there's an existing structure, you are renovating it. When President Kufuor and the MPP wanted to build a presidential palace, is it not an old Flagstaff house built by Nkrumah that they decided to renovate to become the new presidential palace? They called that an achievement. But you see, university is not all about the structures. We know the University of Ghana didn't start like this. Even today, 60 years on, over 60 years on, we are still building structures on University of Ghana campus. When you go to KNUST, we are still building structures there. When you go to UDS, how UDS started, I wish you were there to see how UDS started. So we start from some place, then as time goes on, you build more structures, you build more, you bring on more programs, then you expand the university. That is how it's done. You don't start by building the whole University of Ghana in a day.
It's not possible.
It is impossible. It's you understand? And you can't wait to build the whole University of Ghana before you start admitting students. When indeed you have a lecture hall which can take over 200 people, then you say that you are waiting to build to 2,000 before you start admitting. But that sounds very ridiculous.
In any case, can the NPP show us how to build a university,
which they have never built?
Let's take some more slides, and then we'll look at the facilities that are in there as the discussion continues on that's
still part of the residence of that's the guest house. The previous tip was the guest house for the Vice Chancellor. That facility, particular facility, was meant to be one of the offices. The truth is that facility, because of speed, was a prefab building, which is nothing new in the world. The whole world is going quick construction and everything. So that particular one is supposed to be one of the facilities that will be used by the administration. That's part of that same building. It's ready to use, just waiting for furniture.
Let's keep this one.
I think that that photograph was those are some of the spaces inside the same building, which is meant for the administration.
Let's keep this one too.
So those are all spaces in and around. Yes, offices. That building is part of the lecture halls. Also ready. We understand now that they're going to take 200 students from the start
in September.
In September. Advert will be going out shortly. Those are all parts of the corridor around that place. Other facilities are also under construction for the use of the first batch of the students. All these facilities are ready and to go by September. So I believe that the university is on course. There's no cause for alarm at all. If you just go to Ho and say you're looking for Professor Binka, he's probably one of the most popular places in Ho right now, because everybody knows that he's a man of action. I was so amazed when I read his profile. He's championed so much research and in this country into medicine and other things. And if this man is the one leading this, there's no way you can think that this is going to be just anything. His promise is going to deliver a world-class university, and that is what we should be expecting. And that is what NDC government offers the people of Ghana. The best, just the best.
Peter, the concern had been that we don't have enough doctors for our patients in Ghana. Indeed, His Excellency the Vice President, John Dramani Mahama, recently when he went to Cuba, got a deal for Ghana where we are sending 200 SHS graduates to go to read medicine in Cuba, in addition to 50 specialist doctors who will go to do the advanced studies and come back every year. So we'll be adding an extra 250 to the stock of doctors and trained medical staff that we have. So now that we are having 2 different universities dedicated to special programs, why isn't the whole nation embracing this idea as good news? Why do we have people still condemning the whole initiative?
Felix, you need to understand the kind of opposition that we have. This is a kind of opposition when we were seeking to have a republic of Ghana. They were looking for a federal state so that we divide the country into chunks. You understand? These are a group of people who have opposed every single developmental initiative that has come to this country. And when you appreciate their position, you will not be surprised at all. I heard Ambrose Derry, the deputy minority leader, when we started this university project, saying that though the Volta region doesn't need university, Brona Hafu doesn't need university, what we should rather do is to go and add more structures to the valid as that may be. It is also important to appreciate that sometimes some people gain admission to the universities and will not even be able to travel all the way from where they are to the universities because accommodation may be a problem and some other things may be a problem.
Proximity becomes
Proximity is very crucial. So when you are able to build a university in Volta region, and not just any university, a university dedicated to health sciences.
Allied health sciences.
You understand?
Specific.
Then it means that you are focused, you have a vision. You are a country that is focused at getting to a particular point. When you know your problems, you tailor-made your solutions. We know that Ghana, we have a problem with availability of doctors. We have to be importing doctors from Cuba. So embarrassing, a country which is over 50 years old.
We are paying foreign exchange for that.
And we are paying foreign exchange. Hard-earned cash is going out. That is why today, if the MPP are crying that the cedi is falling, I laugh at them. You understand? But be that as it may, it is important that you tailor-made your solution. So the University of Allied Health Sciences in the Volta region is purely going to be for the health sciences. So we train doctors, we train nurses, we train physicians, we train laboratory technicians,
therapists,
and so on and so forth. So then it will get to a point where we will not be importing this kind of human resource from outside. What may even happen is that we may be helping other countries with doctors.
So that is, it will be a reverse trend.
A reverse trend.
Yeah, where we'll be exporting our doctors and
Yes.
ending foreign exchange for that.
Thank you very much. That is why I always say that ruling a country is not all about looting state coffers, looting bungalows, looting the state lands. It is about having vision and building infrastructure to meet the vision that you are building. Now look at the University of Natural Resources in the Brona Hafu region. One problem, one critical problem that we are facing globally is deforestation. And UN and all international bodies are going into the greening project. You recall that in our manifesto, we promised to green Ghana. We have established the Greening Ghana company.
It reminds me of a Rekubro-based Green Ghana project where trees were planted in the Hamatan.
You understand, and it all died.
Yes.
You understand? We have done the Greening Ghana project, and it is going on very smoothly. It is going very, very, very fast. Now we are intending to build a University of Natural Resources so that we can maintain the greening that we are doing. We can maintain the natural resources that we are having, our timber industry, our oil industry, our gold industry. I have said that Ghana is the only country which is having every kind of natural resource that any human being can think of.
Okay.
So it is important that you preserve and maintain, sustain that kind of natural resource that you have. And by so doing, you will need to build a human resource to support that, so that you not always go and import human resource from outside and reduce your local content.
Okay,
that's the vision of Professor Mills.
Thank you, Peter. Let's go for another short break. And when we come back, the discussion continues on the two new public universities in perspective. And the discussion is on the two new public universities in perspective with Peter Boama Otokono and Kwame Agboja, who is the UK Ireland branch chairman of the biggest political party in Ghana, which is the National Democratic Congress. Kwame, yesterday you were in the Volta region, you were in Ho, together with some members of council of the University of Health and Allied Sciences to interact with the public. What was all that about?
I think as the university is about taking off, the council thought it was right to, as a matter of urgency, to interact with the people of Volta region not only the people of Volta region, all the stakeholders. So yesterday, an announcement was made widely. So the council, including the Vice Chancellor and some of the key officers for the University of Health and Allied Sciences, to explain to the people what they should expect and the sequence into which things would come. People who attended included people from academia, the diplomatic corps, the traditional society, people from the medical field, and other people. Very well attended. I mean, the hall was overflowing. And Professor Binka, who is a new Vice Chancellor, and Professor Anyidoho, took time to explain to people the process. We've got the bill passed, the board is in place, the incubator facilities are almost completed. Some of them are actually completed for use. And the next thing will be for the council and the university to apply for accreditation of the courses. And then from there, then the advert goes out for eligible students to apply for the school. And then we know that in September this is going to happen. The Vice Chancellor and the board has the council has given an assurance that in September you're going to see a minimum of 200 students admitted to residents to pursue their various courses. So it was so much. One thing that struck me was when these things were being explained, there was an open forum where people from all walks of life came, asked questions, and make recommendations. You will be glad to see how people were commended the government. Some of them said they were being fooled by others who tell them that nothing is happening. Now that they've seen their own son, Professor Binka, that they know is a very respected person in the medical arena in Ghana, leading these things. So people were very commended the government very well. And then some other people also wanted to know certain things as to when the main campus will be started, and the Professor Binka and others explained to them as we speak. Work was going on the main campus.
That's the main site.
Yes, the access roads, survey and other things, compensation will be paid. In fact, they told us that the government is in the process of getting hold of all the people whose land and are supposed to be used. It's just a process, but nobody is talking about litigation. Some people actually came there and said, look, apart from the fact that they are happy that the government is about to use their land to do something that they will be happy to see, they would even volunteer to work there for free to see the university take off.
So that is the kind of commitment that people are showing to the project.
I think our opponents lashed on something yesterday. One of the buildings...
No, even before we come to that, so the entire exercise was to take the university to the people.
Surely.
Was to make the people realize that this is their project.
Exactly.
This is the project on their soil.
Yeah.
These are the benefits that the project will accrue to the people of the Volta region and to the entire Ghanaians. Yeah. And to set the record straight as to what the project seeks to achieve. That was the entire project.
Yesterday I was somewhere and I heard some JSSSS students saying that Professor Binka said that if you want to maximize the local content of the university, i.e. get a job or be trained there, then you need to learn hard. I mean, the function was exactly the function was well organized and well delivered. It was not about politics. The members and the Vice Chancellor are not politicians at all. They are just people who want to get things done. And it was a very wonderful program. I wonder how anybody would attend that program and put any negative twist on it, unless you are so anti-national development. You are so anti everything in this country. Otherwise, I think if you attended or you heard about that, all you could do is to say, thank God this project is coming on.
Let me come to Peter quickly, then we come back to the controversies. Yeah, Peter, what advice would you want to give to the youth of the Volta region? Because I've heard quite a number of them speak at different times about these very projects on air. What advice do you have to tell them, especially those who are watching us live now?
It's a very, very simple advice. You know, there's a saying in Akan, say, at the power about fear,
which means?
Which means when a good thing is coming to your house, you don't sack it. You don't ask them to take it away. Clearly, I am very, very hopeful. I have been to the university campus. I have been through the Volta region. We were there just about 2 weeks ago with the president. And you could see motivation. You could see excitement. You could see fulfillment on the faces of the youth. For once, they have an institution in their area which some of them will hope to attend and achieve their future dreams, which some of them will hope to get jobs from, to make sure that they put body and soul together. So I am very, very hopeful that there will not be any single youth in the Volta region or any single youth in this country who will be against such a project. I am just totally amazed about the kind of reports we've been getting. Just some 2 weeks ago, before we went to the Volta region, we heard a report on Joy FM by their regional correspondent that, oh, the people are complaining. They said the buildings are some temporary structures, some apata somewhere, and that they are so disappointed in the government, they are worried, and they will vote the government out, and I was very amazed. Because previously, we have seen the structures on TV, you have brought it on multi-TV, we have seen them in the newspapers, and we were just amazed that they are interviewing some 2-3 people who think that we've performed so abysmally in terms of our promise for the university. And I said, wow, this is not helpful for national development. We are not being truthful to the matters on the ground. We are not being truthful to the facts. Because if you look at the structures we put up in just 2 years, when we started the establishment of this university, when the president cut the sword, it's just about 2 years. Very amazing the structures we've been able to put together. I know of the Uncle Sekasi's laboratory, which have been renovated to enhance this particular university project. You understand? I know of same in the Sunyani University, where an existing structure which was being used by KNUST, very huge lecture hall, have been renovated to an ultra-modern lecture hall with ancillary, facilities to support the University of Natural Resources. So when you have people trying to belittle, trying to ridicule, and beat down a significant achievement like this, you ask yourself, are these people really there for national development? Do they think about the people? Do they think about the well-being of the people? Or they just think about some political power so that they can have their personal, aggrandizement satisfied and so on and so forth? So clearly, I think that in this university matter, if anybody, any individual, any institution, any political party would want to play politics with this university matter, I think that every single voter, every single Ghanaian, every single concerned Ghanaian will reject that kind of politics.
Let me come to Kwame. Kwame, there are some reports that came. I think the Chronicle published a story today, and then some other reactions on radio as to statements that were supposed to have been made by one of the members of council. What exactly happened there?
One of the images shown there was the building that was supposed to be one of the administration buildings. It's obviously a prefabricated building, which is nothing peculiar to Ghana. The whole world is going lightweight, is going the way to do things fast.
Prefabricated buildings in the United States of America.
I believe that when the council took office, they reviewed what the requirements of the key officers, including the vice chancellor. So they suggested that that particular building may not be suitable for the vice chancellor for security and other reasons. They would rather
that is the prefab.
Yes. They will put that building to other administrative uses, but not exactly for the use by the vice chancellor,
which is a purely administrative decision.
So they have identified another property which is currently being earmarked for the office of the vice chancellor. This is the simple thing that happened. Professor Anyidoho never said that the facilities were substandard. In any case, anybody who can read and write understand when you say prefab, it's prefab. There's nothing to say that prefabs are prefab is not block work. And indeed,
but even this is a very beautiful structure.
Look, I say to myself, NPP particularly would have to find a message in the Volta region, because as a son of the region, if by the time we go for election, I am sure the first students will be in residence. What is NPP going to Volta region to tell people?
Not with the what Japan is also saying all over the place.
Maybe apart from the insult and other things they've done, as long as they continue to vilify people from ethnic origins, and they fail to to give alternative as to what things should be done. And the NDC government continues to focus on delivering on the promises of the people of the region. I think it's going to be difficult for NPP to go to Volta region and promise anything. I believe that at the end of the day, they would just continue, even if they wake up one day and the university is fully in
they will still
criticize because they criticize for the sake of it. I just want to let people know that the facilities are there. Why wouldn't NPP go there and see for themselves? What are they going to say in September when they see advert in the Daily Graphic, in even Chronicle, calling for students to come and buy forms, and it's oversubscribed?
You'll be surprised that most of them will even ask their children to apply.
I am telling you that we wake up one day as a citizen of the region. If the university is the only thing that NDC is able to establish in Volta region, I am happy that our future in this country, in terms of healthcare, is granted. And I am sure one day an NPP person who criticizes the university, who says we should stop it, would be at that medical facility, or doctors trained at that facility will be treating him, and you have to shame yourself. You remember when we started with the JSS-SSS concept, they said we're going to be training mushroom descent. I know there are people watching this program, including the wards and children of NPP people who are now doctors, engineers and everything, who went through this process.
Some of them.
Those are the vision of the first NDC government. So when we think far in advance as to where to be in this, they just think not beyond their nose, and they just try to pour cold water on this thing. But the good thing is, we have leadership in NDC who doesn't get perturbed by this noise and other things, but will focus on that. And that is why by the time we get to end of 2012, they're never going to have a message. I would suggest to them, find something important about education to put in their manifesto. The JSS-SHH thing is not going to wash enough because it's not big enough an idea to bring on board. They should find something else. And I'm advising them today, find something about education, because we are miles away from you in terms of the idea of education. And they may probably never say that they are building a new university, but I think the NPP should not be taken serious when it comes to education, because they've never been any group of people that suggested or did anything important about education in Ghana. Okay,
let's go for another break. And when we come back, the discussion is still on the two new public universities in perspective. Yeah, Peter, before we went on the break, when you look at how the various universities began, University of Ghana from Achimota School, then to move to the current location. Cape Coast, it started from a small facility and then began to expand. And now we are talking about the University of Forestry and Natural Resources and the University of Health and Allied Sciences. What will be the cumulative effects of these new facilities on the people in the communities where these facilities are going to be developed?
Felix, it is important to note that apart from the quality human resource that the universities produce, what it also does is that it boosts economic activities. Okay. It brings about a lot of economic activities.
There's total transformation.
Total transformation of the communities in which they are located. When you look at University of Ghana, there are so many economic activities going on there. People have lived there for over 40 years because of some kind of service they provide to the students and to the lecturers. Okay. You have stationery shops. Those who are into stationery, selling pens, pencils, books, and so on, rulers, will have people to buy their stuff. You have people selling food.
Even cocoa.
Cocoa.
As early as 10, the cocoa is finished.
You understand?
And we still queue for more.
You have to queue. Sometimes 10 p.m., some of the students will be studying late, so they will need some food to eat. Yeah. So it creates a lot of avenues. You will see that, for example, on most of the university campuses, you see people doing photocopies.
Let me open the phone line so that our viewers can also join us whilst you continue the discussion. You can call us now on 0302 211 701 or 0302 211 702. Yeah, Peter.
So I think this is some hallelujah for all the people living in those communities, Hohoi and Sunyani. It is hallelujah for them, because for some of them, they are going to start to get jobs. They are going to get businesses going.
Taxi drivers are going to get
taxi drivers are going to get enormous boost in their business.
Pepper sellers, tomato sellers,
everybody, including wele sellers, because the
in the Volta region we eat a lot of akple. So you have people selling cassava dough and corn dough, making a lot of money.
All farmers,
in a new market.
Farmers now increasing their production because they will be getting more money from the food items they supply to the sellers and so on and so forth.
A lot of pure water sellers,
and thank God with our rural electrification project, which has connected 1,700 communities.
Hello, Suleiman from Cape Coast. Hello, Suleiman.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Suleiman.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, and you are good, I guess.
Thank you very much, sir. I am enjoying your topic. If there is anything that Ghanaians should vote Professor Tamiris for, that is for the two universities.
Okay.
Don't forget that when Rawlings One came, he built the UDS. And as Tamiris has come, he has added 2 more to it. And I think that Ghanaians should see that vision as an academician and what he has been able to do.
Okay.
And this will not be all. When we win power for the second term, we are even going to do more. So I thank all Ghanaians from everywhere.
Okay, thank you very much, Suleiman. Yes, let me pick Haruna. Hello, Haruna.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening, Haruna. You're live on Caucus.
Good evening. Good evening to all your panelists there. You are doing a yeoman's job. Always and always I've been seeing you. I'm very happy that now that the two universities, the entity were crying that it cannot happen, it has happened.
Sure.
Let's thank God.
Okay.
More things are yet to come.
Exactly. So.
God bless indeed.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, Peter, you're on the floor.
Yeah,
thank
Felix.
you, Haruna.
So for the people in these communities, they don't care about the number of Odai-Bidai brigades that people form. They don't care about the number of police lynching brigades that people form.
Hello, Rahman.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, welcome to Caucus, Rahman.
This is Rahman from the Damangonada region.
Okay, Rahman.
People nowadays worship propaganda. At least it is high time you start to appreciate certain things being done by the previous MPP. Because looking at the UDS, you people talk of. When you look at the War Campus, when you look at the Tamale Campus, you actually give credit to MPP. Looking at the polytechnic you people are talking of, when you go to the polytechnic and you take the MPP infrastructure from the polytechnic, what will be left is nothing to write home about.
Okay.
So it is high time you do propaganda and talk of issues and what will benefit.
Okay, thank you very much, Rahman. Yes, Peter,
yeah, Felix.
Continue.
So as I was saying, it doesn't matter the number of police lynching brigades that you form. It doesn't matter the number of Womafunu brigades that you form.
Which one is the Womafunu brigade?
The Samia Uku Womafunu Pistol Brigade.
Okay, let me take Ben and then we continue this guy. Hello, Ben.
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Ben. Your comments.
I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. You and your panelists are doing great.
Okay.
And you are doing Mother Ghana, a very good work. And you know what? NDC is really going to win 2012 election, I bet you.
Okay.
Because the massive, the work that they are doing for Ghana, Ghanaians are watching closely. I bet you they are watching. Because no Ghanaian is ready to die. And no Ghanaian will die. We are all going to live, and we are going to live and to praise Atamoro
for
2012 election.
Okay, thank you very much, Ben. Let me pick George from NG. Hello, George.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, George.
It's nice to be viewing this program every Tuesday and the other days.
Okay.
But let me state this clear. I was actually put off by what the last guy said about. We're talking about projects that NDC has put up. What is his problem dealing with? Such people must not be educated. We are not in for this kind of nonsense. I beg for my language.
Yeah.
But the fact remains that we are talking about NDC project. So he should shut up and listen to it and get educated.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, George.
Well,
yeah, we take one more call. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, your name, please.
I'm Humphrey.
Okay, Humphrey. Yeah, your comments.
Yeah. There's one thing I want to make clear.
Okay.
And it is NDC who voted Atamils into power.
Yeah.
And it's clear. And so all this noise from the MPP is reckless and it's nowhere.
Okay.
And so I'm just telling the president to continue the better Ghana is doing.
Okay.
He'll win.
Okay.
We voted for him.
Okay.
And we will vote again.
Okay. All right.
Felix, you are doing a good job.
Okay,
Continue.
Humphrey. And keep watching Multi TV, Humphrey.
Yeah,
yeah, Peter.
Yeah, so Felix, what I'm saying is that those people are not concerned about this kind of militant groups being formed and being used to threaten people and to cower them into voting for a certain political party.
Now it looks at I was on the internet, and then the UK government has released a caution to their citizens that the UK citizens in Ghana should be careful to the lead up to the elections. They shouldn't be seen in groups and all that. Has it gotten that far that we have allowed ourselves as Ghanaians for a group of people, especially the NPP and their agents, to be using threats, hate speeches, war words, and all kinds of warmongering tactics to push all of us or to create the impression that Ghana is not a safe haven for us to do business in lately? Should it go that far?
Felix, I think it has even gone far than that. You recall the Center of International and Strategic Studies report that came out some few months ago from the United States of America. They know what is happening in Ghana. They know how some political parties are so desperate and ready to wreck the country. What is worrying is why they would want to do that. Mind you, I don't think they are doing that because Professor Mills is underperforming. That one is underlined.
Do you think they want to share power?
I think what they are doing that because they just want to get power, obviously, which they are going to use to loot the state, buy our bungalows,
take positions and all that.
Take positions, you know, buy our state lands, and so on and so forth. And that is where it is becoming very, very, very worrying. I think their main problem is their flag bearer.
Okay.
Because he thinks that if he doesn't win this election,
he's finished.
That is the end of his political career. So there is everything at stake for him.
Yeah, but the point is that, you see, Geraldines handed over a very peaceful country to John Agyekum Kufuor. John Agyekum Kufuor also handed a peaceful country to President John Evans Atta Mills. And from all the works that we've been discussing so far, everything points to the fact that the NDC and President Mills is winning the next election. Why would anybody want to foment trouble, Kwame?
My brothers, Volta region is fully behind the university. So the question about is it happening or is not happening, it's discarded.
Yeah.
There's no point talking about it.
We don't even have to go there
again. It's a rerun of a very bad movie which nobody wants to watch
again.
The NPP is courting mayhem because that is the only way they can think they can have power.
Should we allow them?
Well, they've done it in Nkrumah. They succeeded. They've done it so many times. They've succeeded.
Should they succeed this time?
They will never succeed. And I'm telling you this. These are the people who said they are not coming with promises, they're coming with programs. The programs include all die be die. If a party if you have a party, that a hero is somebody who calls for genocide against a section of the society, and he's a hero in their party. I heard their general secretary saying they will never disown somebody who calls for the killing of people from other tribes, and he's a hero in that party. For God's sake, that party does not deserve to be listened to.
Yeah, but these are people who claim that they believe in rule of law, they believe in freedoms, they believe in liberties.
Tell me, which rule of law?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Which part of Ghana's constitution allows for all die be die? Which part of Ghana's constitution allows me to kill somebody because he comes from a different tribe? Which law allows somebody who is a legislator, somebody who is a parliamentarian calling for genocide, and he's a hero in his party? Ghanaians, I'm warning you, the NPP is just a camouflage. There are people who don't believe in rule of law. They don't believe in the peace of this country. The individuals believe in their personal agenda, and we are not going to take it. This country, the fundamental right of the responsibility of every country is to protect her territory
Peter,
and
let me
citizens.
take you 1 minute.
And I think that's going to happen.
But Felix, I think we have to make this point. That even the one who made the call, if you look at all the leading members of the NPP, the flag bearer who said all die be die, Kamfo should go and die, he is not an Ashanti. If you look at Jacob Cheblamte, who said the accounts fought war in Cote d'Ivoire, so they can do same in Ghana, he is not an Ashanti. If you look at the Womafunu gentleman, Sami Auku, he is not an Ashanti.
My own classmate.
You understand? He is not an Ashanti. If you look at Kennedy Japan, who has called for Rwanda to come to Ghana, and is calling for Ashantis to start killing oils and gas, he is not an Ashanti. So I would say this particular statement to my brothers and sisters who are Ashantis. I am an Ashanti myself. My mom is a full Ashanti. My dad is Ashanti half, Ga half. You understand? So I'm speaking directly to my brothers and sisters, my mothers and my fathers in the Ashanti region. Let's not let anybody use us to throw the peace we are enjoying in this country into this area.
Okay. On that note,
the point I would also want to add is that anytime, even in the MPP, that the Ashantis had the chance to lead the MPP, the people who are on the side of Nana Akufo-Addo had destroyed their chances, like in '79, when Victor Wusu was close to the seat of the presidency. So this point must be made very, very clear to our colleague Ashantis.